I'm Noot and welcome to Nootritious. Today, we're talking seitan, spelled S-E-I-T-A-N. It's not meat, it's not soy, it's its own protein-packed, hearty food that might be exactly what you're looking for your nutritional journey. So, let's dig in. Seitan! Nootritious. Even with the focus on plant-based food in the mainstream, a lot of people haven't heard of seitan. I hardly knew anything about it when I went to culinary school. I thought it was derived from soy or some demonic underworld plant I'd never heard of. So I was super surprised to find out it is derived entirely of flour that we put through a special process to end up with a hearty, protein-packed ingredient that has a very similar consistency to meat. I'm gonna prep the ginger and garlic. I think one of the reasons why seitan hasn't hit the mainstream is because it can be so challenging to make. The traditional way to make seitan is through something called the wash method. And if you poke around on YouTube, that's what you're gonna find. But in a nutshell, it's a labor-intensive process of washing and kneading about 20 cups of flour to yield one small portion of seitan. And after that process, you're gonna end up with really sore hands, and if you don't entirely wash out the starch, you're gonna end up with a total mess. So, if you wanna try that process, good luck to you, but instead, I'm gonna show you a simple way to make the exact same seitan. The seitan is delicious, and if anything, it's more consistent than the wash method. The only thing is you have to find this vital wheat gluten flour, which you can find in most health food stores, or you can find it on my website with the link below. Let's do it. Seitan. Every diet needs a solid source of protein. And at Nootritious, I am not here to judge any particular diet, but instead, I'm here to offer you some alternatives that might work well for you. So, a lot of people get their protein from meat and dairy. Meat and dairy can be attractive because of the taste, you can get it practically anywhere, and it's super high in protein. But a lot of people are moving away from meat and dairy, either in part or entirely, and finding an alternative source of protein can be the most challenging part. I know for me, the fear of not getting enough protein was my single biggest struggle in my plant-based journey. There are tons of meat alternatives, but the most famous one is probably tofu. And tofu has some awesome qualities to it, and I can't wait to explore it more in future recipes. But it also has some drawbacks too. The taste and texture isn't for everyone, it doesn't really replace meat in recipes, and for people looking to reduce their soy, tofu may not be the best match. So this brings us to seitan, which has a ton of protein. Pretty much the same amount of protein bite for bite as meat. And it's much heartier than tofu, so it really can replace meat in many recipes. It has gluten, so it's not going to be right for people with gluten sensitivities, but for a lot of people, it's that missing piece of the puzzle. So, now that we have our garlic and ginger ready, enough talking, let's dive in and make some seitan. Let's start off by making the stock. And we get to save this stock afterwards and use it in lots of other recipes. Here are the ingredients. 10 cups of water, 5 cloves of garlic diced up, 1-inch piece of ginger diced up, a piece of kombu, which is dried seaweed for the taste, a bay leaf, and 3/4 cups shoyu. If you can't find shoyu, it's okay to replace it with soy sauce. If you're not familiar with stock, think of a delicious, nutritious, infused liquid. It's so good, I like to drink it as tea sometimes. You can buy store-bought stock, but you have to be really careful because it can be chocked full of sodium, MSG, and preservatives. So it's better to save the money and get a product that's super nutritious and delicious. Put everything in the pot, bring it to a boil, put the lid on, and reduce it to simmer for 1 hour. Here are the ingredients for the seitan. Mix 1 cup vital wheat gluten, 3 tablespoons nutritional yeast, 1/4 cup Bragg's liquid aminos, 1 tablespoon olive oil, and 1/2 cup vegetable stock. Mixing that together, I like to start off with the spatula and then get in there with my hands. The dough is a little weird, but just go with it. You'll see it starts to have a rubbery texture, starting in the bowl, and then afterwards I like to take it on the table, folding it onto itself. Divide it into 2 even pieces. Don't be scared to really mold it into the shape that you want. I'm gonna do a pretzel shape with it to get some nice texture into it. So I'm gonna spread out my fingers and roll it into a tube, twist it a little bit, and then carefully tie it in a knot to create that nice, beautiful patty. Gorgeous, kinda. I promise it tastes delicious. Bring the stock back up to a boil and carefully place the patties into the stock. Cover with a lid and reduce to simmer. Simmer until they toughen up, about 1 hour. That's how easy it is. I can't wait to see how it turned out. Oh, it's beautiful. Let the patties cool down with the broth. You'll see they've firmed up a lot. Discard the kombu, look how big it got. And the bay leaf. Where are you, little bay leaf? Okay, save the broth in mason jars. Oh my God. No, don't do it that way. Let me try. Oh, delicious. You can keep this stock in your fridge for up to about a week or put it in your freezer. Use it with making rice, quinoa, soup base. Has a delicious taste and texture to it. Delicious, nutritious seitan. Look how hearty it is. It really can replace chicken or beef in almost any recipe. It's chocked full of protein. If you want to keep it in your fridge, it's best to keep it in broth. You can eat it how it is. Put it in a frying pan to crisp it up on the edge. Toss it in a Vitamix. Give it a few pulses to make ground seitan. And stay tuned. Next week, I'm going to show you how to use seitan in a vegan shepherd's pie for a beautiful Thanksgiving main dish. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next episode.